Hey y'all, Zach here. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how I went from this all the way to this. And pretty much just going over, the flaws on what you shouldn't be doing and the tips and tricks on how to get a better back or a demon back per se. Before we get into today's video though, I would like to quickly shout out my workout program. Again, this is a program I designed myself and it helped me get to a 405 bench, a 635 pound deadlift, and a soon to be 500 pound squat, all naturally. And again, all for the price of $5. All right, back to today's video, right? So getting straight into the video, the number one thing I see people tripping up when it comes to growing that back is redundancy, right? I see people who are doing seated cable rows and then right after they're doing, a chest supported row. It's like, what are we doing here, right? Or they'll just do 12 exercises that hit the same muscle group. And at this point, it's just like, there's no overlap, right? Or there's too much overlap. At this point, like you're really just spamming one part of your back, and the main reason why it's not growing is because you just keep spamming it, right? You're not giving it enough time to grow, which is, ironic, right? You keep doing more of it, but you're not seeing any growth from it, right? So number one is just straight up redundancy, right? There's a lot of overlap when it comes to these exercises. And that's kind of why I cut it down to probably about 3 to 4 exercises, right? And honestly, that gets into number two. Number two is just people overcomplicating their back exercises, right? Like I have a good friend of mine, he's shredded to his gills, right? So like it obviously works, but it's not as efficient in my opinion, right? Because, again, I went from like having a pretty small back to me just now being pretty shredded on a regularly day basis, right? So number two is just, overcomplicating things, right? Like why do you have 3 separate back days where it hits the upper, the middle lower, or the middle back, and then the lower back, right? Obviously you could really hit those within, the same, just twice a day in the same chest and back exercise. That's what I do, right? You're saving a lot more time, right? That's why chest and back for me is probably one of the biggest like in and outs of the gym. The thing that keeps me in the gym for the longest are my compound movements. And those are the movements and the exercises that I just enjoy doing, right? But you don't even have to do that. Like for my back accessory workouts that I primarily use for hypertrophy, I just use, right, an upwards row. Like I use a chest supported row, which targets my backs and my lats, right? Because I like to use the neutral grip, right? And the closer your arms are or the elbows you are to your back, you're engaging a lot of your lats. But since I'm also kind of flaring my elbows a bit, I'm getting a lot of those upper back, my rhomboids and my rear delts, right? So I'm pretty much getting a bang for my buck with that exercise. And then another thing I like to do is, your lat pull downs or your pull ups, right? Those are interchangeable. You can do either or. Sometimes you can do both if you're feeling pretty fancy. But again, they accomplish the same thing. Like if you can't do pull ups, then I would 100% recommend you to do lat pull downs, right? You're increasing your lat width, right? That's a huge 2 exercises that are amazing, right? And then or you could throw in lat pullovers, right? I like to do lat pullovers in combination with my pull ups. Because again, I am trying to emphasize like lat width for me, right? You really don't have to, especially if you're a noob or you're a newbie, because your gains are going to explode just by you doing one of these movements that is lat related, right? But I do like to throw in some lat pullovers because again, I'm trying to grow some wings. I'm trying to get my back a lot more wider. And another exercise too is you don't even have to do this on your back day, which is awesome, right? This can be done on your leg day. It's a hip hinge movement, pretty much an exercise that targets your spinal erectors, right? Your spinal erectors is just pretty much what gives you that Christmas tree look right here. You see, it's pretty much what completes your back, in my opinion. It just gives it that full round aesthetic. And it tells other lifters and bodybuilders like, oh, this dude knows his stuff, right? He pretty much hit his whole back. Because your spinal erectors are not only, an aesthetic standpoint, amazing looking, but it's also very functional in real life, real world applications. That's why deadlifts, you can do deadlifts for your spinal erectors is considered like the king of the lifts because, you're picking stuff up and spinal erectors is pretty much associated with that, right? You could also do back extensions, another good exercise for targeting those spinal erectors, or RDLs, which is just another variation of deadlifts, which is pretty good. And probably, I'm thinking of some other stuff, but those are like the big three that comes to my mind, right? So number two is just pretty much stop overcomplicating things. Like I've known some people who just have 3 days that are just splitting up the back into 3 different parts. And that's just a little bit too much for me, right? You could be using those days for, different muscle groups that actually need your attention. Like maybe your arms or maybe your quads, because I feel like everyone's can like do a little bit more with their legs, right? Just in general. So yeah, that just stop overcomplicating stuff. Number 3, I'd probably say is, have fun with it, right? If like I find exercises that I actually enjoy progressing on, like one of my favorite exercises are the chest supported T-bar row, right? I really love that exercise. And I've noticed that it's also been giving me some pretty decent gains, right? And it's been transferring pretty well over to my other compound lifts like bench, which is what you need to pretty much bench press heavy, right? You got to engage your lats, you got to engage that back. And so I really enjoy doing that. And I also enjoy, doing pull-ups, right? Seeing how many pull-ups I can do. Because, if you could do 10 plus pull-ups, you are pretty much elite across the board. Like the average male can only do about 5 pull-ups. Not even 5, honestly. That's the saddest part. So I enjoy doing pull-ups. It's just pretty cool. And me being 214 pounds is also pretty impressive. It doesn't seem impressive to me, but it's pretty impressive. So again, number 3 is just have fun with it. Do exercises you enjoy doing, but it doesn't have to be a lot, right? Because again, I'm in and out usually on my back, on my chest and back day. The only thing that keeps me there a little bit longer is my compound movements, right? It has nothing to do with my back exercises. Like if I wanted to just do back, I would probably be in the gym for about 45 minutes maximum, right? So you really don't have to take long at all. So like the dudes who are doing like so many, science-based lifting where they're doing like strapping themselves up with like some cable and like a bench, and they're just like, oh yeah, I'm isolating this single lat fiber. It's like, dude, that's too much. And the funny thing is I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you, right? So, I mean, who are you going to take advice from? A dude with nerdy glasses who just, studied the math of some cables and was like, yeah, I actually know my stuff, bro. Like, dude, like, show me your physique reveal, right? That's the funny part about science-based lifters. They like to overcomplicate things. They like to do, exercises that kind of look goofy, right? Whereas like, just do exercises that you enjoy doing, and try to, make sure it's not redundant, right? Like if you're doing an exercise that hits upper back, why are you doing 5 other exercises that hit the same muscle groups? That just doesn't make any sense, right? But yeah, that's today's video. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down in the comment section below. And I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.